And what's going on, guys? Kale here, coming at you with another account update. I've tried to get these in the cycle of a 1-month period, just because back when I was doing them in the 10-day periods, while it was certainly perfect for the time, there's not as much going on account-wise in a 10-day period. Whereas at least kind of on a month-to-month basis, rather, things change a little bit, I guess. It's still not this kind of like drastic change, as Mini is kind of in the point now where, you know, I finished the grind at Dark Dimension 4. So now it's just kind of really the slow grind into Dark Dimension 5, which I think is taking a lot longer than pretty much I think anyone really anticipated. When you look at previous incarnations of Dark Dimension, you know, at this point, there were already a large majority of players in Dd5, or in Dd4, Dd3, etc. And, you know, if you look over in Dd5 over here, as far as completion-wise, you know, there is still, let's see, where are we? So 34 people have completed Dd5, and I mean, this started back in November. So, I mean, that just kind of goes to show, you know, how slow this process is taking for everyone. And, you know, you look even at the time section, and, you know, there's only 31 people that have completed the time section. So, you know, the other, you know, 3 people that have completed Dd5 haven't completed their time run yet. So it just kind of goes to show that, you know, it is a slow process, and, you know, it is what it is. But, so let's start these off kind of in the traditional format. So looking over here, we're at day 535. The last account update was actually on day 502, so we are just a little bit over a month. I do need to get a little bit better on kind of sticking with that monthly kind of timeline for myself. But day 535, so, you know, that is roughly just about a year and 4 months into Mini. TCP, previous video, I believe it was like 7.7 mil, so just about 700k increase in power, so doing pretty good. You know, it's... I actually checked this yesterday when I was doing the video for my thoughts on the Nowhere heist, and I was actually just kind of surprised to, you know, randomly see Mini at, you know, approaching the 10 million mark. So, you know, I think that's kind of a big milestone for an account, and I think that really kind of, you know, switches where you are from like an early endgame perspective to like a later endgame perspective. But anyway, so some current things I'm working on. Honestly, things don't really look too different. I was in the process of building up my web warriors, as Mini. First section is basically bio skill tech mystic mutant for Doom 2. But with the Nowhere heist, I am looking to at least complete tier 4. So I'm actually in the process of getting my Nowhere characters to level 65 and G12, very minimal investment as far as resources go. So I've already done that for Rocket and Invisible Woman. Going to be doing that for Star-Lord as well. And then as I kind of organically get the legendaries to 7 stars, you know, then I will look at probably taking Mini up to tier 7. You know, I kind of talked about that in my previous video, and, you know, I don't want to go too much into that with this one, but if you are curious on my thoughts on the Nowhere heist, you know, that video is available, so feel free to check that out. With that being said, though, what I plan on going back to once I finish off Star-Lord, which, I mean, I'll probably finish him off at server reset today, you know, I am still working on the web warriors. Getting them, kind of what I've been doing is getting them to level 75, just so I can get them to that blue ISO. And, you know, once I've been doing that, I've been taking them up to basically Blue 3. I do have a pretty nice chunk of Brawler Blue ISOs, so it's been a pretty quick process. Once I do finish them, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and we're kind of scrolling through here real quick, all of my skill characters are Blue 3 as well. So the next step would be to take my tech characters to Blue 3, which you'll notice they are all there. I do need to start actually working on Star-Lord T'Challa, so I actually do want to get him kind of favorited and put into my little section, which I'm curious. I could have sworn I had enough stars to unlock him, so that's actually kind of weird. Let me scroll back down here real fast. I don't know that I actually claimed his stars, so let's scroll through here real quick. That's kind of peculiar. I'm going to have to look into that. Because I do not see my T'Challa rewards, which is quite strange. That might be something I need to look into. Because I want to say I should have had him unlocked, so I don't know if his rewards kind of vanished or, kind of what happened. But anyway, that's something I need to look into myself. Bear with me just a minute, y'all. Alright, so that's something I need to look into, because I should have unlocked T'Challa. I'm actually going to need to send a ticket to support and see kind of what happened with that. But anyway, with that being said, kind of just where we are, going back to things, so if we scroll back on up, kind of what I've been farming, not much has changed. Still farming Captain Sam. This is for Omega Red, just as well as for my skill team. Farming Iceman for my Axemen. Also farming my Kree minions for a higher star of Nick Fury. And that's pretty much it as far as what I'm farming with my campaign energy. Once that kind of, I farm those characters, I will then go into the campaign and I will look at the Doom War section. And, I will basically do these nodes to kind of just stockpile on some of the teal catalysts. Other things going on, as I mentioned with the blue ISOs, I've pretty much got the majority of my teams to Blue 3. And so really, tech character missing would be T'Challa. And then following that, I do need to kind of take my Mystic team to Blue 3. And I'm also, once the Web Warriors are at least level 75, I can then kind of go back and start bringing characters to level 85, as that's been kind of a bit of a slowdown process for Mini. So, the goal would be bring the Web Warriors to 85, following that, taking my skill team to 85, Tech, Mystic, Mutant, so on and so forth. So that's been a little bit of a slower process than I would actually care to, that I would like. Also kind of looking here, these are my hopefully planned Dd5 characters. You'll notice here, Scarlet Spider is one piece of gear away from G16. Spider-Punk is, I believe, ready to go to level G15 once I do get him to level 80. And I believe the same thing with Ghost Spider, ready for G15. Cloak Dagger are also kind of planned city characters for me, and again, it's kind of one of those things I need to take them to 85 and can start doing that. And then kind of depending on availability with gear, there are a couple other options. Whether I take in Morbius is a possible option, depending my Mystic gear. Shang-Chi is another option, depending on my skill gear. So really just kind of keeping an open mind as characters do come out. What I'm looking at in these stores, we do have the Echo store currently, the imprints, and kind of what I've been doing, I've been buying these G16 origin pieces and kind of trying to keep myself around just about 150 or so per piece. So, you're looking here. These are pieces I am planning on buying. So 150 is kind of my nice, like, sweet spot where I'm keeping things. From kind of the rough math when you've been looking at characters, they either require like 60 to, I believe, 80 pieces, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if we can get a G16 piece. All right, so over here, this requires 60, this requires 50, and this requires 40. So, if you figure you're keeping yourself around 150, that's at least 2 pieces of gear, potentially even, 3 pieces, or in this case, 4 pieces. So that's kind of just the way I've been trying to keep my teal gear, especially with limited currency like this. When I am seeing teal gear in the gold store, however, regardless of how many pieces I have, I'm buying it. Even if it's a hero unique, I don't necessarily need at the moment. I'm trying to stockpile them, as you never know what new characters are going to require, what they're going to bring to the game, etc. And then, like I said over here, I'm always going to be buying these from the gold store. Other than that, though, gold-wise, I'm not really buying any gold pieces unless it's a piece of hero unique that is under 71, I think, is where I normally kind of try to keep that. So that's kind of where the gold store is. Blitz store, keeping the war energy refills up. I just finished farming Misty Knight, so this is actually enough to take her to 7 stars. So now I'll kind of hold on to my Blitz currency, as there's really not any characters in here I need to farm. You'll notice I basically have all these characters at 7 stars. I just haven't had the spare gold or kind of a reason to take them to 7 stars. I will, however, once I get to about 10,000 Blitz credits, I will go over here and open up these Blitz orbs and just try to get some Shang-Chi shards, as I am possibly planning to take him into Dd5. More stars on him will certainly not hurt. I also did kind of weirdly run into a little bit of a shortage with blue gear, oddly enough, on Mini, and I think that has to do with bringing up some of the Nowhere Heist characters. So I did kind of have an interesting development with that, which I'll talk about in just a second, but that kind of segs me over to the raid store. And raid store, for the most part, I've got most of the characters maxed out at 7 stars. So really the only character I think that I'm currently buying here, there's like 1 or 2 minions I'm farming just for shits and giggles, basically. And then when Cloak does pop in here. In the orb store, however, once I typically get these to about 150, I normally will go ahead and spend 100k's worth, drop down to 50k, and, basically hope to get cloak shards is really kind of what I'm going for in this case. I did actually have to weirdly dip into the blue gear raid orbs as I was short some blue gear, and instead of, using campaign energy to farm it, I did that. And aside from that, just pretty normal, opening these orbs when I can. One thing I am actually currently liking about this beta raid orb is, in particularly for Mini, who does not have as many characters maxed out, I'm enjoying these beast shards, I'm enjoying these bishop shards, I'm enjoying the cable shards, Deadpool, Domino, not a problem, but Iceman, Kitty Pride's not a thing. Longshot, Negasonic, I think, no, not Shatterstar, and then X-23. So, a majority of these hero mutants, and particularly X-Force, I haven't really been shooting for a 7-star Dr. Octopus with hard farming, so these kind of just being in here randomly is kind of organically getting a 7-star Dr. Octopus, so that's awesome for Mini, especially when some of the characters are kind of in, like, ugly places to farm, and, what I mean by that is not necessarily raid store characters or even blitz store characters, those are easy, but, arena characters, I actually need to start farming Deadpool, come to think of it, now that we have this mythic heist thing going on. But, so, you know, Deadpool, not someone I really particularly want to be spending arena credits on at the moment, but, you know, figured I will for the Doc Ock. The bigger one, though, is going to be, you know, characters like Longshot, characters like X-23. They are War Store characters, and if I can get them just from the beta orbs, I'd rather that, because I would honestly rather save my war credits for either Teal Gear or Maria Hill. So that I've actually really been kind of enjoying with the new raid orbs, or the Greek raid orbs, rather. So we've kind of transitioned over to the War Store, like I kind of just alluded to, Maria Hill and Teal Gear, and then if I do see, as far as orange gear goes, if I see superior Oz formulas, I am snatching those up as well, as they are needed for the Web Warriors. Elite Store, I did kind of just go through a little bit of a spending spree. I want to say, I think I bought Icarus, Cersei, I think I bought a higher star on Sharon Carter, maybe even Maria Hill. So I have spent a good chunk of my silver promotion and gold promotion credits. I'm slowly kind of building my way up in dark promotion credits to unlocking that 5 red star Doom, which I definitely think is going to help Mini out exponentially in the tech section. So working on that, and one way I am kind of doing that is with the red star orbs, especially when there is the 10 times dark promotion credits, I will open, you know, a handful of orbs, just kind of depending on how many I have. Like, I think when this started yesterday, I might have had like 70 orbs, so I opened about 20. I do like to keep about 50, give or take, just for new character releases. Typically what I'll do is I'll maybe spend about 25 on a new character, depending on drops, and, you know, build myself back up to 50, just in case there's, you know, a character I want to go particularly hard on. I do have a large amount of red star orbs. It's probably one of the few resources I actually hoard on all 3 accounts. But yeah, so kind of, it'll be interesting, you know, with this Nowhere heist. You know, while it's not a massive amount of dark promotion credits, if it is recurring every month, I do think a 5-star Doom will be a lot easier to obtain than it currently is. Is it something you're going to get in a month? No, but it's something that'll be less of a grind, I think. Moving on over in the ISO store, you know, really not too much going on. Basically just opening up orbs for characters I need. And one thing I'd actually kind of like to suggest to kind of get yourself in a stockpile situation, if you're not in a, like, if you'll notice, a lot of these characters I could actually take to Blue 3, it's just a matter of having the ions, which in this case I do have the ions, but if all your characters are, let's say, hypothetically capable of taking to Blue 3, the way I'm actually opening my orbs is I'm kind of accounting for Blue 4. Even though that is not actually, you know, obtainable in the game, that's kind of where I'm keeping my resources. So, like, currently I am doing the controllers, so I could take, in theory, you know, the controllers to Blue 4 if I needed. So, like, Blue 3, I think it requires, I think it's 19. Let's look at that real quick, and then that'll kind of explain my logic a little bit better. So when you're looking to go to Blue 3, it only requires 9. So if you take a character where you have enough ions to go to Blue 4, you, in theory, have enough to take, like, another character to Blue 3 if a new character comes out. So if you can kind of get your blue ISOs up to the point where you can kind of do Blue 3 for everyone, you have a nice kind of stockpile going. So, you know, if you're looking over here, I could use 5 more shields, and I could also use, you know, almost 9 of the squares. So that's kind of what I've been doing, to just kind of go through, you know, kind of demonstrate that, I guess. So we needed 4 squares, or 9 shield, or 4 shields, 9 squares. So kind of basically what I'm doing is I'm opening these up, and, you know, if I'm getting those pieces, that's awesome. You know, if not, I am still kind of just stockpiling some ions. So we've got 2 shields here. We need 9 of those. So essentially we would have to open, that's 4, so we're getting some pretty good RNG with that. We would need to open and get 3 more sets of shields. We've got 2 of our squares, which I think we needed 4 squares if I remembering that correctly, so we got that there as well. And let's see if we can get 2 more or 3 more drops of the shield, and I'll kind of go back to Iceman and kind of show what I was, you know, talking about if we get the shields. If not, I can still kind of show it on the squares. But this is kind of what I've been doing, and I'm kind of hoarding onto these ions right now just because, like I said, I would like to take all of my web warriors to blue 3 prior to continuing the other sections. And as soon as I get Star-Lord built up to, you know, G12 level 65, I can go back to web warriors and kind of continue the blue ISO investments. But so if you look over here at him over here, so we did not get all the shields we needed, but we now have enough of these squares for 27. So if we were to take him to blue 3 right now, that would take out 9, and that would still leave us with another 18 of these. So, you know, we could take another character to blue 3. And that's kind of just the way I have been working the blue ISO system. When I get to the point where, you know, my raid team is fully blue 3 and, you know, I'm not needing to take any other characters, I probably will start to hoard my blue ISO orbs just for when they're needed. It doesn't make sense to be opening them if I don't have characters that need it. The only exception, I guess, would be if I was kind of short ions, because that seems to be obviously still the biggest bottleneck with that. Arena, I've gotten a little lazy, not gonna lie. I am still kind of staying below the top 100, but, you know, unless you're kind of on, you know, right around payout, which is actually pretty close to right now, it gets kind of a little crazy on staying below top 50. Been pretty busy the last couple weeks also, so it's kind of really hard to stay on top of it with all 3 accounts. But I have been staying under the top 100, and I've been trying to stay close to, you know, top 50 and under as possible. It's just right now, the current arena meta, nothing kind of really holds. Everything kind of has a counter. I mean, like you'll see here, you know, we ability block Doom, and this match is pretty much over already. So, you know, we'll go with that, and we will go ahead and do that with Loki, and this match is over now. So, you know, people are basically doing this exact same thing, and for that reason, like, nothing truly holds on arena defense at the moment. So it's really just kind of a matter of, you know, if you want to be on, you know, 15-minute cooldowns in between arena fights, you know, if you want to be on for about an hour and a half prior to your payout, to kind of really push yourself down, or even maybe like 45 minutes, that way you can get 3 attacks in, you know, totally up to the player. At the moment, I just really don't have the time, I guess, to kind of invest that, so we'll see kind of where I end up on that. But yeah, I want to say that is going to be our day 535 account update. Hopefully I can get a little bit better with kind of being more on top of these. And hopefully you guys are still finding these little account updates helpful, whether it's kind of comparing with your own account or, you know, just kind of getting ideas on things to focus on. So if you did find this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Comment down below any thoughts you may have or any type of videos you'd like me to make in particular. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching. Hope everyone is having a good week. Take it easy and be safe.